crazy. You guys, I have not filmed a video in ages, and a lot has changed. Many of you follow me on Instagram, so you already know, but just as like a little recap, we moved to Tennessee in October, beginning of October. All of September we were like packing and just getting our life together a little bit, and the month before that, in August, we found out that I was pregnant. So I'm 26 weeks pregnant, and we have now been living in the Nashville area for, let's see, October, November, December, almost 4 months now. So we're in an entirely new apartment where that's a whole story in itself. We're in an entirely new state. We're about to have a baby in April, and there's just a lot of new stuff. So yeah, we've got a lot to cover. I'm also going to be putting on a little bit of makeup. I already, as you know, just showered, did some skincare, put some like leave-in conditioner in my hair. So let's just get into it. I also have like notes on my phone of like, I need to stay on track. First question, why did we move to Nashville? A lot of people have asked me this. Obviously, like, Seattle is very expensive, and for a while now, like, we've been talking about, like, you know, going somewhere where we could, like, you know, more easily buy a home and maybe invest in like some property and all that kind of stuff. And really, it's like that's a little piece of it, but the big piece of it is just like Jesus. And we felt for a while that this is where he was calling us. So we finally did it, and we just feel like this is where Jesus has us right now, and there's really no like explanation beyond that. I mean, another big factor too is, some of you know, most of you know, Sajan, my husband, does music full-time, and obviously Nashville is a very big music city, and so as a producer and an artist, like, it's just been so good for him and his work, and there's just so much going on out here. So yeah, all good things. That's kind of why we moved. Okay, second question, how did you find out you were pregnant, and was it a surprise? Were you trying? Like, what's the story there? We honestly, like, since we've gotten married, we weren't really like super careful, if that makes sense. Like, we weren't really like turned off to the fact that, like, you know, like, I don't know, I just have never been on birth control. That's really what I'm trying to say. And we used kind of a more natural method to tracking my cycle, which was really, really helpful. Yeah, so we had been doing that for like 3 years. And then some, you know, and in 2020 we were like, okay, like, you know, we're getting to the place where like we want to start thinking about having families soon. And we didn't like start trying necessarily, but we were being less careful. And like, just to be super honest, I've talked about this on my Instagram stories, like, I thought it would have taken a shorter amount of time to get pregnant, but it was about like 9 months before we did. So we definitely, it was just in Jesus's hands at that point. But yeah, so we were kind of expecting it. I mean, it's always a surprise. I don't think anyone is ever prepared for that. Sajan flew out to Nashville here to look at places to live, and we were looking at 1-bedrooms. And in the back of my head, I just was like, well, what if I'm pregnant? Like, what if I'm pregnant right now? Basically, he gets home and the week goes on, and like Monday rolls around, and I'm like, like, you know, like, I'm supposed to get my period today, haven't gotten it. And then one day, Tuesday, 3 days, 4 days late, 5 days late. So I'm finally 5 days late on Friday, and I tell Sajan, obviously, like, he knows. He was like, oh, you still haven't gotten your period? And I was like, mm-mm. And that is the most amount of days I've ever gotten without getting it. I've been like 2-3 days late, and he was like, well, why don't you just wait until you hit a full week just to like be totally sure. And I was like, I don't know, like I just have like kind of a feeling. And basically he was working somewhere. I think he was with some people or like doing a session, and we were back in Seattle obviously still at this time. And so I was like, you know what, I'm done working, I'm just gonna go to the store. And I went to the store and I get the pregnancy test, and I come home and I'm like, no, I shouldn't take it, like I should just wait a few more days to be sure. And in my head I'm just like, I have to take it, I have to take it, like I can't wait any longer. And I did film my reaction because I was like, you know what, maybe I am pregnant and I want to get this on camera. And so I I take it, and like no joke, not even like 15 seconds goes by and it's like the second line, and I'm like, literally my reaction in the video is start crying, I'm freaking out. So I do another test and it's positive again, and so I'm like, holy crap, like I'm freaking pregnant and we're about to freaking move across the country, what the heck. But he comes home and I'm acting so weird. I'm like, hi, how was your day? Like just so unnatural, and I'm like sweating and I'm just so anxious because I just don't know how to tell him. And so he sits on the couch and he's like, oh, I'm so hungry, whatever. And he was like eating his snack or whatever. He grabbed a bar. And I have the test in my hand and I'm like shaking, and I like go up behind him on the couch and I put it in front of his face. And he was like, wait, what? He's like, are you pregnant? I can't see the line. I can't see the line, because it was still like kind of faint. And so I take him into the light in the kitchen and he's like, are you pregnant? I was like, yes, I am. And he's like, I don't believe it. I thought the line was supposed to be way darker. And I was like, no, I'm very early, that's why. And we like hugged and had a moment and cried and whatever, but it was really, really sweet. And then after that we went and got dim sum. So the last thing that I want to touch on is just kind of like the first trimester and my experience so far. And a lot of you have been asking like, how are you feeling? How was moving? How was this? And just, you know, have you been sick? All the main questions you have for like first trimester, second trimester. I'm at like the tail end of my second trimester right now. My due date is in April. I don't know if I mentioned that, April 22nd. And so I found out August 20th. At that point I was 5 weeks along, and basically from like 6 weeks to from like 5 weeks to 8 weeks, I had nausea every day, and it wasn't so bad that I couldn't carry on with life. I was still working and doing my best to eat. I had some food aversions. I mean, meat didn't really sound good to me, or like some vegetables, but like fresh fruit sounded awesome, like really refreshing. Like cold things sounded good, so like ice water, things like that, smoothies. I had some nausea, and you know, obviously like that is so common. I didn't throw up at all. I had a few moments where I was a little gaggy. Didn't throw up at all. I somehow still was going to the gym. I don't know how, but I went like 3 times a week, and I would just do cycling and just kind of light stuff, whatever felt good. And then, no joke, I went to, as soon as I hit like 9 weeks or something like that, 8 or 9 weeks, I went to a bar class. And I went to that bar class, it was at like 10 a.m. and I got to the class and I realized like, oh, I didn't really like wake up with any nausea today. Went through the class, felt awesome. After the class, I was really hungry. Everything sounded good. I wanted meat. I wanted all these things that I'm like, okay, I kind of feel a little bit normal, and didn't have any nausea that whole entire day. I like kept checking in with myself, and then literally from that day on, it went away. I did not have reoccurring nausea. There were a few times that my nausea was triggered by things that already made me nauseous. Like I get car sick from time to time. But yeah, it was amazing. I really think that was Jesus, because I don't know how I would have packed up my entire home and drove across the country while sick. Oh gosh, that would have been so bad. So very grateful for God. And then second trimester comes along, feeling even better. I'm starting to get a little bit more energy. my workouts start getting a little bit more fun and exciting. I start feeling like myself again. And yeah, so honestly, I have had a great experience, and that doesn't mean every day has been easy, but overall it's been awesome. And I've really been loving pretty much every day, and it's been so exciting, especially feeling the first kicks and all of the, like, seeing the baby for the first time, and even at 20 weeks when we found out the gender. It was just, there's so many exciting things that happen in the second trimester. My body has just been adapting really well, and baby is measuring great. I'm doing great. Blood pressure, all that stuff is awesome. So we're just praying, continuing to pray for a healthy pregnancy up until birth and even healthy postpartum journey. But I understand, I'm very, very grateful for that experience, and no one can predict how their pregnancy is going to go. I mean, I know some women who had a great first pregnancy, and then their second pregnancy was awful, and then their third pregnancy was great. So it's, every woman is so different, every pregnancy is so different, and I'm just so happy and grateful that this one has been awesome. And yeah, it's been great. So having a great time while being pregnant is possible. I think a lot of that just comes from, you know, just prayer too. I mean, Jesus has been so present in all of this, and he obviously wanted this baby to come into the world at this point in time, so he's definitely taking care of us. I'm feeling definitely more pregnant. I started going to chiropractic this week just to prepare my body for labor. I've had some back pain, and I kind of knew what was going on, and the chiropractor was able to be like, yep, this is what we're gonna do, this is our method, and she's awesome and works with pregnant women specifically. So feeling so much better from yesterday. That's when I had my first appointment, and she's incredible. So if you are pregnant or know someone who's pregnant and they are having discomfort, or just even want to look into getting their uterus and the baby into an optimal position to labor and keep them in that position, honestly, have them check out a family wellness doctor or a chiropractor. It's life-changing. Yeah, for our next couple of videos, I definitely want to do a more in-depth review of like my pregnancy must-haves, things that really helped me, recommendations I have even for like workouts and workout plans and people to follow. I also want to do a house tour. I've been promising you guys on Instagram I will do a house tour. Finally, we'll do that for you. There's so much I need to do still, so it won't be very polished, but that's okay. And also, just like I've definitely gotten some good stuff recently, so more hauls in the future. I really want to be present with YouTube again, and hopefully I'll do like a day in my life, or even like a what I eat in the day or something like that. That would be really, really fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that was entertaining and fun and all that jazz. I did a little natural makeup look. I've got some breakouts right now, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if you have any more questions or anything that you want me to cover or talk about. I would love to do that. So I'll see you guys later.